If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have the time to fight. And if I work tonight, I'm so tired.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, now got a special privilege as I'm joined by not only a Hollywood actor with films such as Magic Mike and John Wick, but also a wrestling legend, a Hall of Famer. It is, of course, Mr. Kevin Nash.
Yes,
Kevin,
sir.
thank you very much for this time today. We really appreciate it. You're doing the Big Sexy Tour, yeah? Which is an audience with you. So what can the people expect?
I mean, I'm pretty candid. If somebody's going to pay 30 pounds to come out and see me and ask a question, I pretty much will answer anything. Just hopefully they have a good time. I've been doing this for almost 30 years, and I've been to the UK so many times. For back in the early 90s, I think we ran the UK once a month because it was, the States were so dead and the crowd was so great over here. So, it's just a chance for me to give back to the fans.
Well, the fans in the UK absolutely love you. I mean, they love that you really do hold nothing back. If something's shit, you'll tell them it's shit.
Right.
So the follow-up question to that is the current product in WWE is getting a lot of criticism, especially with the new Universal Championship.
Right.
What's your thoughts currently on?
It's funny because I wasn't like when Kevin Owens first came on the scene. I was just like, And then as I watch him, as far as a performer, like I like him. He's actually grown on me. So I think one of the things is people try to think back into the glory days, like the Attitude Era, which will never happen again.
No.
It's like in baseball in the States, the 27 Yankees. There's never going to be another 27 Yankees. It's just the way it is. So, given the state of the business right now, I think that Kevin Owens is a good champion. The belt, all the belts looking the same is kind of
that's just
it's but it's also the fact that thank you, my man. Straight vodka,
not Jack Daniels like the Undertaker.
too many calories. But where was I?
You was on about the belts being the same colour?
Yeah, I mean, that's that corporate touch. It just doesn't have that feel, that it used to have, where it was a little bit newer. When Monday Night Raw came on, the product was actually Raw, and it's very, it's a very controlled, corporate-driven entity, but it's eating all the competition. So if you want to watch, as I would call it, wrestling, as they would call it, sports entertainment, there's really no other choices.
No, I mean, there's obviously you've got your Ring of Honor and TNA. You've done a stint in TNA as well.
Right.
And obviously the famously WCW.
Right.
With the WCW, where you beat Goldberg, Starrcade 98. Were you surprised to be the one that ended his streak? And were you surprised how quickly Vince found out he was a bit of a mark when he went to WWE?
No, Vince does that to everybody. Vince will bring you in and beat you right off the bat to see what your reaction is. So no, that's just Vince being Vince. But at the same time, if you're not a mark, then they really can't do much. Because if you know how to stay over, you can stay over. They can beat me all day. They can beat me. I don't care. Beat me every night.
Well, like the Click were practically bulletproof though, which is probably the best way to be backstage these days.
Right. And I mean, the thing is too is that I don't care what anybody says. Nowadays, like these guys will say, we're this group, and we're going to watch each other's ass. Push come to shove, they wouldn't. But you couldn't split us up. You took one of us down, you're going to take us all down. So I think that's the real difference. Is we were truly, the Five Musketeers. You weren't going to get between us. So.
Obviously, you were best mates with Michaels, X-Pac, and Triple H. And that. How do you think Triple H is developing as a businessman now?
Yeah, I'm really proud of him. NXT is his baby.
That's phenomenal what he's built
right.
there.
It's just, and that's his part of WWE, and which I think is the best product in the world right now. I love watching NXT. I love watching the live events, and when the NXT guys come to the Raw roster or the SmackDown roster, they're already over. Like Cass and Enzo, I mean, those guys are as over as anybody, if not more over. So I think there's a rawness to that. I think there's an old school attitude era to that. But I also think that it's, the storylines are simplistic. The storylines are basically, well, if you're better than me, then why can't you beat me? Well, let's have
Something
a
they're
match.
going to struggle with on the main roster.
Right. There's too much. It should be about championships.
Yeah.
That's what it should be. But I don't know if I'd want to win one of those belts. Kidding. Only being serious.
Have you been asked to help train in the NXT department? No. Because you're on a Legends contract.
Yes.
Yeah. That you signed that, was it 2011?
Something like that. I know it's up pretty soon.
The one question a lot of fans want to know is, what actually is the Legends contract? Obviously not the financial terms, they don't want to know that. Is what does it mean that you've got to do for the company?
I mean, I think it's more. The one thing they do get is they get your book rights during the period. So I couldn't write a book. So until another 2 years, a year and a half, I wouldn't be able to write a book. That's one thing they do get. They get your book rights. But see, mine's different than most guys because most guys, they don't own their name. And see, I can't do it. They can do whatever they want with Diesel, but they, Kevin
Can't
Nash
touch
is, right.
Kevin Nash.
Right. So that's my, that's my real name. I mean, you can't even trademark that. You can only register it. So, but by signing that contract, then they have the rights to use Kevin Nash. So, which is fine because it makes you. They put Diesel and Kevin Nash in the video game. So,
and are you hoping to do anything else with WWE? Because I think, was it your last TV feud was with CM Punk, with the famous text message debacle
Right.
and all that?
yeah.
Would you wanted to work with CM Punk?
I wanted to, back then, but now, I'm 57 now. It's just,
But
took me an hour. I flew in. I flew in today. And got to bed around 10 o'clock and woke up at 4 p.m. And it took me till 5 to get out of bed. So I'm pretty beat up.
I don't know, with the Instagram posts you're posting, you're looking pretty in shape.
Yeah, I look good. I just have a shit engine. But I've had a lot of Bondo body work done.
Who in the current NXT would you love to see on the main roster ASAP?
God, they've been pulling them all up. There's just I'm starting to get to find the next guy now. Right now, so I'm really not sure who I think that's going to be yet. But they've been pulling them up so quickly. As soon as they get over, they move them up. I think Bobby Roode. I'd really like to see Bobby Roode because I got a chance to work with him at TNA for a while. I think he's really a super, as far as all the intangibles he has it.
Do you feel this brand split that they're doing won't be as successful as the original time when they done it years ago? Because of the lack of stars and they're having to take Triple H's NXT stars and leaving them bare.
I think sometimes, though, that TV time creates stars, and if you really do split and don't move guys back and forth, it gives guys more TV time, and that way it does give somebody that a chance for the cream to rise, and for that reason, I think that it's a good thing. I think that it'll be something that'll just time will tell.
And one last question we got asked by our audience was, do you have any backstage gossip or funny stories of recent events involving?
No, I haven't been. They don't allow me around very often. I'm a shit. I stir up too much shit. They got to keep me away.
The two stories that I loved hearing about you was one was involving a flight with Hogan and Jericho was sick all over himself.
Yeah.
And didn't realise. And the second one was it a Warlord who gave a syringe to Michaels and he couldn't get it in, and Michaels looked at him and said, "I think he's full up."
I think you're full, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the good old days. But no, that was Jericho. I was coming back. We were coming back from Hogan's deal out in Oregon, and I was getting ready for Magic Mike, and Jericho was sitting next to me. He said, "You're not going to drink?" I said, "Man, I can't have any carbs." he Googled, vodka 0 carbs, and we started. I'm not kidding. We're drinking vodka rocks like this. Well, Chris did a good job. He hung in there, but that extra 100 pounds I had on him. That's just math. That's just math. Sooner or later, man, takes a few more bullets to put down the rhino.
Well, Kevin Nash, it's been an absolute honour and pleasure. I've grew up watching you, supporting you. I've been a fan of WWE since it first aired in the UK in 1993. It's been an absolute honour and pleasure to meet you, and I want to thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight.